Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone both vanished without a trace. Here's what we know. Hi, welcome to Mystery Godz, where we discuss mysterious stories and cases. Please like and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. Thank you. Let's start. Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone were in a relationship. However, it was put on hold due to Imbo's divorce. Richard Petrone, 35, was living in Pennsylvania and worked at his parents' bakery at the time of their disappearance in 2005. Danielle Imbo, 34, was the lead vocalist of a New Jersey rock band and worked from home for a mortgage firm. Richard's daughter was 14 years old at the time, and Danielle's son was 1 year old. They were family friends who dated as adolescents before embarking on an on-again, off-again romance as adults. Danielle was married to Joe Imbo at the time, but they were separated, and she was in the process of divorcing him. Imbo met Petrone at a bar to see live music on the night they vanished. On the evening of Saturday, February 19, 2005, Imbo and Petrone met up with friends at Abilene's, a Tex-Mex restaurant in South Philadelphia that has since closed. Anthony Valentino and his wife Michelle McLaughlin, Petrone's pals, joined Imbo and Petrone at the restaurant. They subsequently told police that Imbo and Petrone looked to be having a wonderful time since they sat close together, smiled, and kissed throughout the evening. They were even overheard discussing plans for the next day. Imbo and Petrone departed Abilene's about 11:45 p.m. Petrone planned to drive Imbo to her condo in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and then back to his own house. This would be the last time they were seen by anyone. Imbo's family discovered she was missing the next day when she failed to pick up her child from school. Her son Imbo's family first realized anything was wrong when he failed to show up for a hair appointment on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. However, fear didn't set in until 3 p.m. when her husband Joseph arrived at her condo to drop off their kid, little Joe, and Imbo was not present. Her brother, John Ottobre, subsequently stated, "She wouldn't have missed it? No way." Police normally wait 48 hours before beginning a missing person search, but the family began right away. Ottobre and Petrone's father, Richard Petrone Sr., began hunting for the missing couple that night and scoured the streets of Philadelphia until the next morning. Friends and volunteers combed neighborhoods for 100 miles in all directions, handing out photos of Petrone's vehicle. Ottobre even hired a Camden police officer $1,200 to take him up in a helicopter and look for the truck. None of these attempts had any results. Since their disappearance, no physical evidence has been discovered. One of the most peculiar elements of the Imbo Petrone disappearance is that there is almost no evidence to suggest what happened to them. There is no known murder scene, and investigators have found no evidence regarding their location or fate, neither at Abilene's or anywhere else. Both of the couple's cell phones have been turned off since they went missing. They haven't accessed their bank accounts, nor have they utilized their credit cards or easy passes. Petrone's pickup, a 2001 black Dodge Dakota with a NASCAR sticker and the registration plate YFH2319, was never found. Police searched waterways and dug out fields for leads but came up empty-handed. The police performed a thorough inquiry into the disappearances of Imbo and Petrone. They haven't located Imbo, Petrone, or Petrone's truck after following hundreds of leads and thousands of tip calls, as well as combing the Delaware River and adjacent farms. The near-complete lack of evidence appears to rule out the possibility that this was a random occurrence. Based on law enforcement history, it is doubtful that this was a routine crime of opportunity, stated FBI Special Agent J.J. Claver. It also appears implausible, if not impossible, that a single individual operating alone could pull off this feat so well. The FBI believes the two were the intended victims of a professional hit. The FBI no longer considers the couple's disappearance to be a missing person case. Due to a lack of evidence, investigators have concluded that it was the work of a professional. This did not happen by chance. We believe this was a staged performance. Christian Zajic of the FBI stated this in 2015. A 3,000-pound vehicle and two guys don't just vanish. Both the Imbo and Petrone families think that Imbo and Petrone are dead and were possibly murdered. They are still attempting to figure out who is to blame and why. John Othabra, Imbo's brother, stated, "Your emotions are out of control. You could hypothesize until you're blue in the face and drive yourself insane." However, neither family has a leader. Imbo's husband had previously threatened Petrone, and his lie detector test was inconclusive. Police have investigated Imbo's estranged spouse as a suspect, as is typically the case in a missing person inquiry, and the FBI has questioned Joe Imbo many times. Joe had made many threatening phone calls to Petrone Sr. before his abduction, according to Petrone Sr., who spoke to Action News Philadelphia. "I got like 25 or 30 phone calls from this child," he said. "What did he want?" I asked. "Stay away from her, leave her alone, he's her husband," he kept telling me. Joe, for one, had a good alibi for the night in question. Joe has cooperated with police and even undergone a lie detector test, but the findings have been inconclusive. Imbo's husband has a strong alibi for Imbo's and Petrone's disappearance on the night of Imbo and Petrone's disappearance despite widespread suspicion. Joe Imbo had an explanation for his movements on the night of February 19, 2005. He was 50 miles away at a child's birthday celebration, where his stepfather, a former NYPD cop, and numerous active police officers were also there and can attest for him. Joe has never been formally charged as a suspect. According to Vito Rosselli, the FBI special agent in charge of the investigation, there isn't enough evidence to arrest Joe Imbo, but he hasn't been ruled out either. Joe Imbo and their son, Little Joe, were residing in South Carolina as of 2015. Theories concerning the couple's disappearance abound. Special Agent Rosselli says that a professional hit is only one possible explanation for the disappearance of Imbo and Petrone. Several different hypotheses have been advanced. One theory holds that Imbo and Petrone had a mishap and drove into the water in Petrone's truck. However, the FBI does not believe this explanation is credible. Both because their search of the waterways yielded no results and because the route Petrone would have taken from South Philadelphia to Mount Laurel makes the scenario unlikely. Another idea is that Imbo and Petrone chose to flee and start a new life together. However, both families believe it is improbable that they will both forsake their children. The FBI does not feel this explanation is plausible. Both because their search of the waterways revealed no findings and because the path Petrone would have traveled from South Philadelphia to Mount Laurel renders the scenario doubtful. Another possibility is that Imbo and Petrone decided to escape and begin a new life together. However, both families feel it is unlikely that they will abandon their children. O'Brien was accused together with 9 other members of the Pagans Motorcycle Club, an outlaw gang renowned for its aggressiveness and trafficking of illegal drugs. These 9 co-defendants were charged with conspiring with O'Brien to distribute oxycodone, methadone, Percocet, and Xanax unlawfully. They all entered guilty pleas. The FBI looked into a probable relationship between Petrone and the Pagans during the O'Brien inquiry. Special Agent Vito Rosselli questioned Pagan member Patrick Treacy about a double homicide, but Treacy denied everything. Petrone's family denies any involvement with organized crime. Despite the fact that their loved ones are missing, the Imbo and Petrone families are at odds. Despite the fact that the Imbo and Petrone families had been friends for nearly 20 years before to the couple's abduction, and that they originally worked together to find their lost loved ones. They have now ceased speaking. According to Marge Petrone, the friendship went south immediately quickly owing to disputes regarding what happened to Imbo and Petrone. The families are at odds as of 2015. In the hopes that the families would one day reunite, John Ottauber refuses to comment on a suspected perpetrator. Both the investigators and the families have not given up hope. The search for Imbo and Petrone is still ongoing. On the 10th anniversary of their disappearance in February 2015, the FBI elevated the case to their cold case initiative, which implies that extra time and resources would be dedicated to the investigation. Despite their assumption that Imbo and Petrone are no longer alive, the families are still looking for answers. Two innocent individuals were for no cause. I want justice for that, Petrone's mother stated. John Ottauber describes the sensation as standing in the center of a snowy field that hasn't been disturbed. That's how the investigation goes, he stated. Because there are no tracks or markings, we may proceed in whatever way we want. Nothing has ever been discovered to help us. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the couple's whereabouts. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Philadelphia Citizens Crime Commission at 215-546 TIPS. Thank you. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below and please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you. Goodbye.